بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful.
قل هو الله أحد.
Say, He is Allah, who is one.
الله الصمد.
Allah, the eternal refuge.
لم يلد ولم يولد.
He neither begets nor is born,
ولم يكن له كفوا أحد.
nor is there to Him any equivalent.
All right, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum to everyone and good afternoon. Uh, my name is Sayyid Ghulam Murtaza. I am working as Manager Operations in UMT Connected Department. I welcome you all and thank once again for joining in our today's session. We are having these sessions all this week and this is going to be our last session for this week. And we are going to start this activity, these webinar series after Eid, inshallah. So in today's session, we're mainly going to talk about OLLARC, LMS, and we will take your question and answers as well. But before we start, I'd just like to, set some decorum of today's session. So to all the participants, I'd like to request to kindly keep your mics on mute unless you have something to share. So please raise your hand and we will give you the mic and you can ask your question and share your concern or feedback. The best way is to do that over the chat box. I'll be reading your messages and I'll pass it on to Ms. Asfa, Zia as well. Uh, and keep your videos switched off as well unless it is requested to switch it on. Otherwise, that really eats the bandwidth. Before moving further, I would just like to give a small introduction to our guest speaker today. I really like to thank Miss Asfa Zia for taking her time out, and she'll be sharing very valuable information and knowledge. She's actually working as a lecturer in ILA, that's Institute of Liberal Arts in UMT. She's actually have done MPhils in the English literature from Forman Christian College University, Lahore, Pakistan. Her area of interest, gender and sexuality, uh, ben- gender bending as a literary and theoretical art form, South Asian uh, literature. All right, that's her interest areas. And she have also got best thesis topic in her MPhils. So without taking any further time, I would like to give the mic and floor to Miss Asfazia. And I'll be just on the background for any technical assistance. Miss Asfa, the mic and floor is over to you.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Mr. Murtaza. So I'll turn on my video now. Yes, so hello and assalamu alaikum to everybody and good afternoon. My name is Asfazia and I am currently a lecturer at UMT Dells. And today I'll be giving you, well, not a brief presentation, but a short presentation related to LMS and OLLARC. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen. Right, let me see. Okay, so yes, so can everybody see my screen?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So what is LMS? LMS is somebody wrote in the chat. Okay, thank you, Miss Naomi. So I won't be looking at the chat while I'm doing the presentation. So after the chat, you can ask your questions and your comments and everything. Okay, it's a bit distracting. Anyway, LMS is an abbreviated form for learning management system. We need to know what LMS is before we start off with the other things. It is a web-based application for e-learning programs and training contents. Uh, we know that, ever since the pandemic started, we needed a platform to, continue education, and for that the best platform was online education, right? So for that we opted for, uh, all the institutes in the world, they opted for e-learning. And e-learning, usually it is always through a software. You might have heard other names as well, like Moodle and Blackboard and Sekai. I'm sure you've heard these names. So LMS, these are all LMS, and we uh, the good thing is that UMT has a dedicated LMS, which is, we have made it by ourselves. We don't rely on Moodle or Blackboard. So yeah, this is an LMS. And then what happens in an LMS? This application includes teacher and student administration. So, we have a platform on which all the students and teachers can interact with each other. Then there is the e-learning programs and training contents. Obviously, to educate people online, we need to, know how to do it. We need to know how it's done, and for that there are multiple workshops. This workshop is also one of those workshops in which we need to learn how is it that education and learning can be disseminated online. Courses and online events, obviously we have been attending, multiple webinars and multiple things online, because we always need to keep, enhancing our learning and teaching strategies. Internal communication system, built-in mail, yes. So I think this is not a very prominent feature in our LMS, but or maybe I haven't explored it yet, but it is, very apparent that all the LMS, they have this system inbuilt that, the students and teachers can interact with each other through mail, which is built in that system, which is the LMS. And then obviously documentation, all the students which are enrolled in a course, they are fully documented, all their, the information regarding those students, and also related to their programs, related to the courses that they are enrolled in, all of that is present in the LMS. Tracking and reporting of the e-learning programs. So this is really important. Okay, there has to be, a check on whatever is happening in these online courses, and that is done by the administration, which is, in this case it is UMT connected, and they keep track of that everything is going smoothly, all the courses are running smoothly, and everything is, being done according to the plan and according to the time and need of the students. Okay, other than that, forums to interact between the student and teacher. Obviously, whenever we, talk about an online learning platform, there needs to be an interaction between the student and the teacher. And how is that done? That is done through LMS, through, the different platforms which we have with us, which help us to, to do this interaction, right? Support portability and standards. Obviously, LMS is something that you can carry with yourself anywhere. Why? Because it's online. It's on your phone. It's on your laptop. It's on, all your smart devices, and it's really easy to, log into it wherever you are. So that's something which is really great about LMS, and it's the same for the LMS that UMT Connected has developed for us, right? Display scores and transcripts. So this is really important. Okay, when the students are done with the course, there needs to be a check and balance on, whatever grades they have achieved in a course, and that is also done through LMS. That can be done through LMS, and we'll explore that today. uh, it's The LMS has a system through which you can do automatic grading, and that is something really great, because, as instructors, it's really hard for us to keep track of all these things, and like keep track of all the changes with the grades and everything. So this is a really great platform to do that, right? Okay, moving on. So yes, what is LMS used for? LMS is used to manage online content and administer distance learning processes. We have kind of already discussed that. LMS allows us to create and support an unlimited number of online learning courses that can be accessed by students from all over the world. So this is one of the best, you know, pros of LMS, that these courses, whatever courses that you are developing or I am developing, these can be accessed by people from all over the world. And I believe UMT Connected is doing that. Basically, making independent courses that people can, attend freely or pay a small fee so that, they could get a diploma for those courses. I believe that is under construction, but that is something really great, right? Online quizzes, course documents, repository, Dropbox and Mailbox, embedded forum and chat. So yes, we have online quizzes which are enabled through LMS. We can take online quizzes by uploading it on LMS. Then course documents, yes, we can keep private documents as well, and we can upload all the documentation that is needed for a course onto that course files, which are, slides, spreadsheet, uh, other documents like resources, external resources like papers and articles and journals. We can do that as well. Dropbox and Mailbox, well, this is also present in LMS. We don't usually look at it, but sometimes we receive a message on the upper part of the LMS, and that is actually there for sending and receiving mail. But I believe instructors usually don't use it at here, but I think some of us do. Embedded forum and chat. So yes, we have a very good thing, which is the discussion forum, and it is there on LMS. And we can basically start a discussion forum, and students can comment on it, and we can see what are their viewpoints about a certain topic, and we can really get to see what is their intellect and caliber related to that topic, right? And we will explore that once we do a hands-on thing on LMS. Okay, so this is something that we really need to understand. Okay, there is a basic structure of LMS. It's not something which is, all over the place. It has a very simple and basic structure, and that is the administrator manages the local admin, the teacher, and the student. So there are three roles which are present on the LMS. And if you've ever actually looked at, if you've explored or navigated through LMS, you must have seen कि वहां पे दो options होती हैं, कि student and teacher. So we can look at the LMS both ways, right? So, but we know that we are the instructor, so we must always use the teacher option, right? So we are the teacher, and then there is the student, which is the different people, the uh, students enrolled at UMT who are enrolled in our courses as well. And then there is the local admin, which is UMT connected, and they, oversee whatever, like they do the check and balance, and they see that there is smooth running of the courses going on across, UMT, and everybody, all the instructors are putting in the relevant information in the relevant places. So that's really important. There must always be a local admin um, looking after the system, and also that, there are no bugs. We don't know that, but actually UMT connected, they are these really amazing people who are always doing bug fixes for us. And they're always making sure that LMS runs smoothly, so that whenever we are uploading our content, we don't have any issues. So that only is possible because of UMT connected. So moving on. Yes, so these are the simple things that an admin and a teacher and student does. An admin is the person responsible for general systems, teacher administration, and course settings. So as I was telling you, okay, it is UMT connected who manages all these things, who is basically, they are the check and balance system for the smooth running of the uh, LMS at UMT. And they are the ones who make sure that LMS is running properly, so that all the teachers and students can access and put in their data accordingly in a timely and scheduled manner. And then there is the teacher, which is us, a person responsible for creating and administering topics and lessons for courses, managing the whole learning process. So we as instructors and teachers, we have the most important job, right? And that is we have to really, we have to really make sure that all the that everything which is related to a course, it is being run smoothly, and at the same time that students are getting the best out of that course, that students are doing the best learning out of that course, and that students are, really bearing the fruit of that course, which means that, it's that course is really helping them learn something new and creative and innovative, and they are making the best of their time in that course, right? Student, a learner enrolled in one or several courses. So we have students with us, and they are, enrolled in multiple courses with us. And the student body is the one which are uh, on the other end of the they are on the receiving end, we are on the sending end, because we are the ones who are putting in all the content and all the resources and everything, and students are on the other end, the receiving end, that they are getting all the data from us and then trying to make sense of it, trying to learn something new from it, right? Then yes, so we, as I told you earlier, कि we don't use, हम Moodle या Blackboard या Seca use नहीं करते, we have our own dedicated LMS. So obviously that LMS must have a dedicated system through which it is running, right? So what is that dedicated system? That is the OLLARC methodology. We were, as instructors at UMT, we were made familiar with it in the previous semester, I believe, and we did multiple workshops related to it, so that we could really get the gist of it, and we could really understand okay, what is the purpose, and what is the what are the pros of this system, what are the cons of this system, why is it that we are using it so much, and why is it that we are being kind of pushed towards it, that we have to use it. And it sounded daunting in the beginning, to be honest, and it was daunting for many people, but now that we are well versed in it, we really understand that this system is the best, and it's really helping us enhance our uh, teaching and learning process, and it's really helping us get the most resources to students, so that they can really get the best out of our courses. So what does OLARC stand for? Without further ado, it stands for overview, learning objectives, learning activities, assignments and assessments, recommended resources, and concluding remarks. So what does it all mean? Overview means that we have to give an overview of whatever we are going to teach in that certain lesson. Okay? Learning objective means that what will be the objectives of learning for this particular unit or this particular topic, and how are we going to go about it. Learning activities means the activities that we have planned, so that students can do better learning, and they can really understand the gist of that topic and apply it in their real life as well. And then there are assignments and assessments through which we can assess, okay, what are the students doing, are they really learning, or is it something that they don't understand at all. And then obviously there are recommended resources. These are for the students, so that they can really they can look at external sources and make use of them, so that they get the best out of that certain unit, that certain course, and they can really uh, what do you call it, get the best out of that situation, basically. And then concluding remarks, it tells have we achieved our learning objectives or not, were we able to were we able to exercise good activities with the students, or was it just that we were able to do just rote learning. So that really tells us what was our progress. The concluding remarks really tells us what was our progress in the certain course, in the certain unit or the topic that we are trying to teach, right? But now it's a bit different. First, when we started the using the LMS, it was such, when I started using the LMS, it was such that this was given for every lesson, but now this has been scattered in the whole LMS setting, and when we go to that, we will see that how is it scattered. But currently all these things are being covered in the new version of the LMS, but then it's the different things have been put dedicatedly in different places. So now it's a bit different, but then again, all the things which are to be achieved through these the OLAC methodology, this is all of this is accessible, and all of this is meaningful as well, right? So yes, first I'll just talk about the interface and talk about LMS in general, and then I'll take you towards the LMS so that we can do a hands-on training, right? So this is the main interface of the LMS. This is my LMS, and I have 4 to 5 courses. So you can see, there is the dashboard, and then there are the courses, and then there is the calendar and private files, and then it takes you to your courses as well. So uh, this is the main interface of LMS, right? And then yes, The user interface is pretty easy to understand and work with. The instructions are given as we navigate through the system. So yes, there is the session one, then there is the lecture content, there is the assignments and assessments, and then there is the quiz and discussion forum. So as I was telling you, these different things have been scattered. The OLAC methodology has been scattered in the new LMS, but it is there. Like you can see the assignments and assessments, while the concluding remarks and the resources, you find them in the beginning of the course. We will go through that as when I open my LMS, right? So it's really easy to understand. I mean, anybody who goes through the system, they will be able to see, okay, this is something which is very accessible, and this is something that anybody with the computer can, work through and understand, right? So yes, these are some of the things which I gathered. I'm sure you must have, other things to add as well, but in the limited time that I had and everything, so these were some of the points that I was able to come up with. कि why is it कि LMS OLARC is an effective e-learning tool? ठीक है, why is it कि we use it so much? Why is it कि we rely on it? Why is it कि we don't use something else? Why is it कि we don't use Blackboard or Moodle or something like that, right? So these are some of the points. So the user interface is easy to navigate, as I was saying, as I've been saying presently as well. Okay, going through it kind of tells you itself that this is my function, and this is everything tells you itself that this is my function, and this is how you are supposed to use me, right? Everything, when we turn editing on, we can go through, we can edit practically anything and everything, and it tells you exactly, okay, what is this thing about and what can you do with it. So that's really interesting, and that's really easy, right? All of the students data is in one place. So this is something which is really time saving, which is really, it adds to actually the teachers, it actually subtracts the work from the teachers, workload. Ke ek jagah pe you find all the data, you don't have to, go around and, keep like have these physical files and, that burden and keep carrying that data with you and all that. We don't have to do that anymore, right? All the students data, even के वो कौन से courses में enrolled हैं, whatever, and which course are they enrolled in with you, and their email ID, their student ID, everything is present over there, right? So it's really, the data is really manageable and accessible. And then all the assignments can be marked simultaneously. So I don't know if you guys or somebody, I'm sure somebody among you must have used this feature, but actually the assignments can be marked simultaneously. This option is available, and I'll show you where it is, and it's really, really good, right? So one by one you can go through the assignments and mark them. I'm sure everybody who asks the students to upload their work on LMS, they are the ones who really make use of this thing, right? Option of restricting assignments and lecture material till a later date. Yes, so this is something really good. Okay, we can upload the data before when we are doing our work, and then we can put like a date on it. We can put a restriction on it if we don't want the students to view it. So they can view whatever we want to show them, whatever we want to share with them on a later date. They will get it on that particular date. They won't be able to access it before, right? So this is really good, so that we have multiple reasons for that. We don't want them to plagiarize or to cheat, or to copy off an assignment from somebody else, and we keep this data for a later date and they can access it then. Okay, discussion forums to enhance the learning experience of students. So this is something that UMT connected, and even all the instructors and everybody, they agree on, unanimously, that this is something really good. You have this platform where you can upload a question or a statement, and you get to know, okay, what are the students views about it, their viewpoints, their perspectives, their learning related to a certain topic. And this is really good, right? They don't have to, what do you call it, use websites like Quora, and which is Quara, and then there are other platforms like that as well, which have these question threads, and students copy things off of that. So instead of doing that, they could start their own discussion, right? And they could go through it, and that would really enhance their learning, instead of them copying off material from other sources. So this is really good. Time effective strategic learning happens with LMS as relevant online resources are accessible to the student. Yes, so this is something really, really important and really good, because faculty, they are able to give all these resources, all these different multitudinous resources to students, that have this article, take this video, take this website, access this website, and all that, which really helps the students with their work, right? And they are able to really get all the resources that they need to kind of go through to understand a particular topic, right? So this is really good. The best online resources include links to online videos and audio files, and having them on one platform is only possible through LMS. Yes, so otherwise what would you do? This is what we would do, right? We would email them everything separately, and even the files, they can't be uploaded if they are, I think, greater than 21 MB or something like that. They can't be uploaded on Google. You have to share it through Google Drive. And then sometimes students don't even access Google Drive. They're like, okay, this is too much work, I'm not doing that, right? So instead of doing all that, instead of sending multiple emails, you can just use one platform and upload all your material over there, or give links to students, and they are able to access all the data that is good for them, for a certain topic, to understand a certain topic, or to understand um, a certain unit, right? A newly added feature is of embedded turnitin in software. Yes, so this is my favorite thing. If you were to ask me, ke, Asfa, what is your favorite thing in the new LMS? So this is my favorite thing, that Turnitin is embedded now in the new LMS by
Uh,
UMT Connected.
I'm really sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to announce something. To all the participants, kindly show active participation. Otherwise, if you're not asking anything, or if you're not taking interest, then what's the, real benefit? So I just want to announce something real quick, that the person who would ask the most interesting question in this session will or can get certificate of participation from our department, that will be decided by Miss Asma herself. So I'd really request to all of you, ask your questions, write down in the chat box, or use the mic, and use this opportunity, and really, interact and participate. Thank you, Miss. Please continue.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Mr. Murtaza. Okay, so a newly added feature is of embedded Turnitin software. So as I was saying, this is my favorite part of the new LMS developed by UMT Connected. That Turnit is embedded in the LMS. We don't have to separately open the website for us to go through it, right? So we can just ask the students to upload their papers on uh, LMS, and automatically they get checked by the Turnitin software. So that's really good. All right. So this is something really good, that all of the students data is in one place, and that is yes, I'm giving you, these are the visual representations of everything that I was discussing. So you can see there are the students, there are the student IDs, and there are, it tells you how far along are they, how long have been accessing, are they even accessing LMS or not, and how long has it been, the last time when did they access it, right? And then all the assignments can be marked simultaneously. So when you go into grading, and then if you have added the marks for the assignments, if you've been doing the checking on LMS, it tells you the overall average and the overall grade, okay, by the end of it. So that's really good. This is one of the features of LMS which I think we don't really use, but it's there for our own convenience, especially for the convenience of the instructors. Yes. Okay, so this is really good. Creating hyperlinks to external online sources is time efficient and productive, right? So I gave this example that it's very easy. I'm sure most of you know how to do it. Okay, basically, you take in you create a hyperlink, and you uh, attach it to the website or to the YouTube link or to the video that you want the students to see, and it's done. And they can, when they click on that, it becomes a link. For example, here psychoanalytic theory is a link, and if they open it, they'll be able to access that video that I want them to see, right? Instead of me sending them scores of emails and telling them to watch a video. Okay. Option of restricting assignments and lecture material till a later date, right? So as I was telling you, okay, this option is freely available for the instructors, that we have uploaded the content, but we don't want the students to see it yet. So we can put a restriction on it, and the day that we want them to access it, for example, here it's written prevent access until or from a specified date and time. So then they will be able to, see access that particular material. Okay. Discussion forums to enhance the learning experience of students. So as I was telling you, we can tell them that this is how they must answer. In the guidelines, we can tell them that this is the way they must answer a certain question, and there are certain rules that they need to follow. They need to use formal language. They need to, give in their, uh, what do you call it, informed perspective, not just write random words. And they have to really think about a topic in order to have a discussion on it, right? So we can write that in the guidelines, and then we can start a new question, and that will become a thread. And then we would really get to see how the students are responding to whatever we are teaching them in a certain topic or in a certain lesson, right? Or even in a whole course, if you want, like if you design your question that way, right? So that's something really good. Okay, so as I was talking about me, that the best feature that I really like about the new LMS is the embedded Turnitin software. And as you can see here, students in this is my LMS, and students have uploaded their papers, and I can see the percentage of plagiarism that they have done, and whether it's acceptable or not, and I can just click on the paper and view it and mark it, and I'll be done with one paper at a time. So that's really good. Instead of me uploading the papers physically myself onto Turnitin, that thing has already been done for me, right? So this is the ending part of the presentation, but now I'll be taking you for a hands-on training onto LMS. Okay. So let me just screen share again. Please just wait a second. All right, where is it?
Meanwhile, I really am enjoying all of your questions in the chat box. Miss Asfa will take your questions in the end, but I'm just going to note it down. So we'll answer all of your questions one by one.
Yes, let me just open.
If you're facing any issues, let me know. I can share my screen, or you can. You do have the right to share the screen.
Yes, I have it. I'm just opening my LMS. Sorry, it's taking me a while.
No problem at all. It happens all the time, especially with the internet and this technology.
Yes,
Things can happen, go down. Yeah, and especially at this hour of, Rosa,
yes. I'm
even
really,
internet can go slow, go
yes,
slow down.
I'm really glad that all of these people are holding on with me and not, logging out. Okay, so this is my LMS, and I would like to go through some things. So, talking about the Turnitin embedded Turnitin platform, let me just show you. So this is, yes. So what you do is that you turn editing on. I'll show you how it's done. So in the beginning, there is a big button which says turn editing on. And then there is the option of add an activity or resource. I hope you're following me, right? And then there is, through this is for the instructors, that we choose external tool, right? And here we can choose Turnitin platform 1 or 2, depending on which works for us. And then we go for show more. And here you can add the activity name, for example, midterm. And then here you can give the instructions. And here, or you could add the questions directly over here, like I have done. And then display description on course page, display activity name when launched, display activity description when launched. You can choose these options, and then you can go to save and display. Right, so it gives you the options, and it's over here, it's showing, okay, here you can then give the instructions for Turnitin. For example, you can give the start date, and then the due date, and then also the feedback date for your papers, whatever will be uploaded. And you can also give the instructions related to whatever, sorry, here you can give the instructions related to uh, the Turnitin platform. And also you can, then again, there are optional settings, and for that you need to see, are you submitting the papers to the repository or not. I know that's a big problem, because once you do that, then those papers are there everywhere in the university's repository, and then they can't be taken out of that. So if you don't want that, then don't select that. And then you can then see, where do you want to compare your papers from. That is student paper repository, institution student paper repository, current and archive website content, periodicals, journals, and publications. So you need to go through all these different instructions to see what suits you, and then choose whatever is convenient for you. So this was the Turnitin option, and I'll show you where students have uploaded papers, so you can see how it looks like once it's done. Okay, so yes, so see, this is a place where I uploaded the midterm spring 2021, and here the students have uploaded their papers. Let me just show you. Yes, so I hope you're able to see the papers. These are the papers, and I can just click on them. For example, this is one of the papers, and I'll be able to see whatever is happening. How much is the plagiarism report? It tells me that instantly. So this is 15%. And here I can look at the whole paper, and instead of me using the Turnitin website. So this is really good. Okay, now I'll talk about the grading. Somebody asked, I just had a look on the question, so I'll show you how that's done. Okay, so other things that I talked about, uh, yes, the grading option. It's here somewhere. Let me just go through it. Yes, so I was able to look at it previously. Let me just. Yes, so when you open a course, then there are these grades. See, left side, but there is the option for grades. So if you have done the, if you've marked the different assignments, see, I can add the marks over here if I edit it, right? If I have done that, then it, I believe it calculates all the marks by the end, and it tells you, yeah, it says, sorry, let me just move this up, overall average and overall grade, right? So this is how the grades are calculated in LMS. I mean, I discovered it yesterday myself. I did not know this previously. So this is something really good and really productive, and it saves a whole lot of time. Other than that, other things that I've explored. So yes, talking about the discussion forum. So how do we add a discussion forum? Then again, editing is turned on. So yes, so discussion forum has itself is an option, and here we can add a question, and then it could be anything. It could be anything related to the subject, the topic, the whole course, depending on whatever you're doing. So that's really important, right? Okay. So what else? Other things that I have noticed are, okay, other things that I talked about, just going through them in my head. Yes, so the OLLARC methodology, how is it spread throughout LMS? Let's look at a course and I'll show you how it's spread. So first there were these, it was all unit 1 and lesson 1, and there were ULOs and CLOs, but now it's not like that. It's such in the beginning we have the counseling hours, and then also recommended resources are just some things that you can use in the beginning of the course. Give the students all the resources, all the major resources, instead of give, and you can give particular resources as well in the different lessons or topics, but before that you can give them all the major recommended resources in the beginning of the course. And then in the lecture content you can put in the lecture objectives, and then also the assignments and assessments, they are present over here, and then the quiz and the discussion forum. The discussion forum is not something which is added in the Word, but it's something which is you know which is added in here, so that we know it's a very particular uh, thing which is part of the OLLARC methodology, right? It's not there in the acronym, but it's something which is very important. Okay. Other than that, what else? So assignment and assessment, and then quiz, and then we need to know that the quiz does not need to be added in every every unit or every lesson. We can add it according to however we are going in a course, and that's really important. uh, so that's how we are supposed to go about it. Yes, I'll take your questions by the end. Somebody raised their hand. uh, Other than that, these are the major things that I discussed, and then I'll go from your questions now, instead of me doing all the talking. So I believe your questions will really solve things.
All
So
right,
yes.
perfect. I guess let's start with Miss Alvina. She's a faculty member from SAP. So I'm going to give you the access now. You can unmute yourself and go ahead, please.
Assalamu alaikum, Ms. Asfa. Can you kindly please
Salam.
add a question and in the discussion forum, and show how we can start and the messages, we can take the messages of the students. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to add a question. Add a new question. The subject can be literary. This is a novel that I taught, Joseph Andrews, and I am talking about the literary aspects of Joseph Andrews. So this is the subject, and what I ask is, ke,
So meanwhile you're typing in, there's one question in the chat box that I would just like to clarify. One student have asked that can students convey their concerns individually on the discussion forum? I think in discussion forum you can only stick to the subject of the discussion forum, but there is another feature in the LMS where you can simply type a text message in the inbox directly to your faculty. So right on the top where you can see the notification, there is this small icon that's with the text like a message. You click over there, you search your faculty name, and then you can send them any message directly on the LMS.
yes, thank you for that. I didn't know that, so that was new information. So this is, I've added this question, literary aspects of Joseph Andrews, and the question is, what is the purpose of digressions in the novel? Just a very simple question, right? So here the student can click on reply, right? And then they can write their reply, whatever that may be, and then post to forum, right? So this is how a discussion will ensue, right? So that's how it's done. Different people will write replies, and different people, and then it will become a thread. So I hope this answers your question.
Yes, she have sent a thanks, so means the question have been answered. So before I'm going in the chat box, I'm going to give the mic and floor to those who are raising their hands. So the next one is going to be Miss Kiran Fahim. Now you can unmute yourself.
Thank you so much. I hope I'm audible to everyone. Uh, well, my question is that when I upload any certain activity on LMS, I often see that students start texting me that where the specific activity is being added. So I first faced it during the midterm exam that, it is obvious to me, and I knew it that I have to add it in the session 8, and I have mentioned the date as well, that you can go to specific dates and you can find your midterm exam. But still there was a lot of confusion. The students were asking again and again that in which session you have added the midterm exam, and they were requesting me to email them personally or in the form of group or something like that. So is there any easy way, because I didn't know how to answer this question to them. I was telling them that you should go to session this and check in that dates. So what is the right answer of this question from where they can check any recent activity?
Okay. So, just telling you, okay, students sometimes don't tell you the truth. I'm not saying that
Okay.
they sometimes they do that just to cause delays, and just so, they can get more time out of that assignment. And yeah, that's something that happens. But I'm
Okay.
not saying okay, all of them do that. But what you can do is, okay, I don't think there is a tab which talks about the recent activity, but
Okay.
an easy way to go about it is that you can just, I think when you tell them the session number, they should be able to view that activity.
So I can also add something over here.
Yes.
The
Okay.
first thing, let me just quickly share my screen as well. So first thing what happens is that yes, students feels it like, as if LMS is like some so technical thing, and once they will click on something, it will explode. So they do not
Exactly.
explore. For example, when we started using Android phones and iPhones, and nobody have given any user guide to any of us, but we were so interested to learn. So we have actually we are now experts in using Android and iPhones. So it's
Exactly.
similarly, LMS, it's a very basic software, very self-explanatory, and on the student's end, it's very simple. Now, two things you can do. One thing, if they want something specific, you can always put in the announcements on
Okay.
this bar. Otherwise, for example, they can always directly, they don't have to scroll down like from here. If it's session 4, they can simply click on session 4 and they'll be over there.
Yeah.
So it's that simple, but yes, I believe that this is also maybe a drawback of technology, that it's really making us, all of us, quite lazy. We want everything right, in front of us, and we don't want to even click things. So maybe that. But so far, I think that's the best way. If you are adding it in some session, just mention the session number. They should be able to find it. Otherwise, if you think that in your class students are facing difficulty understanding LMS, what I can do, I can arrange a session with your class, and I can
Okay.
explain LMS on the very basic level to the students, even student portal and Zoom features, so they can understand it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate.
You're welcome. Okay, so now we can move to the next person. I think that is Sholam Mate Paul. I think
Sholmit. It's
Sholmit.
Sholmit.
Shalom, Paul.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. So okay, so you could please go ahead.
I guess half of my question has been answered, but is it possible to add a technical feature on LMS that whenever a teacher uploads an exam or any task, that like on our phones we have this feature of a notification that whenever we turn on it, it pops up on our phone. So is it possible to add this kind of element to LMS so that we may not be able to miss? Because many of the students get lazy and they do not even bother and they keep texting the teacher or the CRs that where the exam is uploaded, where we have to submit things like that.
Do you want me to answer?
Yes, please go ahead.
Sure. Okay, now before I answer your question, I'd like to ask you one question, just for the fun. I mean, what is the meaning of your name?
The meaning of my name is Daughter of Peace, and it's from
Okay,
the Bible, and it's from the book of Song of Songs.
right, right. Okay, so maybe I think this is first time for me. That's why it was quite difficult for me to pronounce,
No,
even though
it was first time for you, but for me, it has always been since childhood.
I
I have
I
faced the
understand.
struggle in explaining the pronunciation of my name, so it's okay.
Okay,
I
all
don't
right.
mind now.
Thank you. So now on this, teachers can actually do. There are many things that you can do. For example, if you have a midterm exam, you can create one folder over here on this part, or you can create one folder on this side, just with the name of midterm exam. So students will not go in any particular session. They will just simply click on that uh, folder, and then they can access. For example, specifically in terms of midterms, you can actually do that. In terms of simple assessments and quizzes, which is your in every week, that you can upload over here your assignments, your quiz, because that's like every week or every other week. That's a normal thing. But for midterm, you can actually create one folder either on this side or on the top, and you can just simply inform your students then this is the folder name, and it's either on the top or on the left corner, and they'll be easily able to find it. Another very interesting feature, that's Control F. Whenever you are on any browser or on using any software, that will make your life quite easy. uh, for example, I'm right now on this page. I I will click Control plus F, and I am having this search bar right over here. And now if I like to find something on this page, I'll just uh, for example, for come, see, it takes me right there. So any text on this page, I can just simply type it over here, and it will directly take me over there. Fine. I hope that answers your question. Uh, Now we can move to the next one, that is Zainab Humayun.
Assalamu alaikum. My question is that usually the Turnitin reports, they actually tell us that from where the data is copied. Is it from a website or whatsoever? It gives us the whole actual similarity index. But it happened with me in the second last semester that we were working in a pair, and I just uploaded, it was a requirement by the teacher that we had to upload our assignment or the project it was on the Turnitin, the official Turnitin site. And the similarity index which came to my project was 3 or 2% might be. And then what happened was that my the other person who was working in collaboration with me, she also uploaded it on the Turnitin from her account. And what happened was that it was registered obviously in the Turnitin, and it came the same document which I uploaded, it came as 97% similarity index. So when we talk about Turnitin being added into LMS, is there a specific time period for till when the document has shows a plagiarized content, for example 2 years, 1 year, or something which has been once uploaded on the Turnitin? This question is obviously in respect to LMS workings or operations, that for example if I have uploaded something tomorrow, and for the next year, for the whole lifetime, is it going to give the same plagiarized content, the same report? For example, tomorrow it might have a similarity index of 2% or 3%, but some other person, if I share the same document with some other person and he or she uses it, is it going to give the same 97% report, or is there a specific time period after which it renews, or there is something like such functioning which happens?
I think that it stays the same, because the similarity is something which shows that when a particular thing has been written, it gives you all the sources that have been used. If it's copied, it shows you all the sources that have been used, and where has the content been copied from. So unless those websites are deleted or content is deleted from those websites, the similarity remains the same, right? But if the content from a certain source is deleted, if that whole site is deleted, then maybe it might change after a while, but if we check the same document again. But I believe that it usually stays the same, because content is, it's not always, it's not as if it's getting deleted daily, or you know uh, like all the time. That happens after a while, I think. So
Fair
yeah.
enough, ma'am.
Yes.
And moreover, I wanted to ask that as we know that there are workshops which are held, for example, we are having one right now. There are certain things, for example, the students of first semester, as I'm in my last semester, even I had, because we know that Turnitin is something which is new to the LMS and it was not from the past times. And in my mid, I had this issue. I am not a techno person, and for the newbies too, I think this is something, whenever some enhancement or some new feature, I think, which is added into LMS, don't you think, ma'am, that the respective departments, for example, the course which we are having right now, don't you think that the respective departments should at least have one mandatory session for the students to make them understand at least of the drastic changes, for example, Turnitin being embedded into LMS? Because the people who are usually not into LMS, because I have seen many students who actually log in only when they have to submit assignments, and they usually, for example, the features that you have told, discussion forum and such, they're not emphasized neither by the teacher, I'm sorry, and not by the students. So don't you think that such things, when there are drastic changes and they have to be catered by the students at any time in mids or finals, there must be a mandatory session for the students to at least tell them about that?
Zainab beta, I believe already mandatory sessions happen. I am
Uh,
sure UMT Connected does those sessions,
Ma'am,
right?
yes,
ma'am, that
so
happens, but again, students usually consider it as optional, and I think there should be something which this must be made ensured by something, by such means. I don't know what, but there must be something.
I totally understand, Zainab, and I think you are right. So first, yes, we have conducted many sessions, first in the orientation week, and then in departmental orientations. And then further, let me share something very interesting with you, especially for you, all of you students. if you just look at this website, that is our website, connected.umt.edu.pk. I would highly recommend that you should go ahead and check it today. So what you will do, you will go on Stairs Help Desk here, and you will go on the student support, and there you find the user guides. All the things that you need to know, like most of the things regarding Zoom or LMS, uh, or anything that you most probably would require during your stay in UMT, you will find it over here. So far we have done three things, like we have done in-class training sessions on Zoom, and then we have given you access on our website. Now, third thing, still, if any student is facing any difficulties, we always advise to all of our faculty members to kindly get us, let us know that there is some assistance or training required to their, students. So we arrange special trainings for the classes as well. So in your case, even still, I think you're quite senior now. Still, if you face any difficulties, I'm going to type in one email address in the chat box for all of you. Please note it down. That is ithhelpdesk@umt.edu.pk. This is a portal, a service, a ticketing system that we have introduced for all the faculty and for the students. Any difficulties that you face in terms of using LMS, Zoom, student portal, or anything related to these things at all, write me an email on this email address, ithelpdesk@umt.edu.pk. What happens is that it creates an automated ticket, and that gets assigned to one of my team members, and they have to respond to you within a certain time period. So it's very good that we always share our feedback verbally, but the best way is always through emails. So I would highly recommend you to practice for now, and even I would request to all the faculty members as well that please use this facility and feature, because this is for you ultimately. Okay, now we move forward, because now we have to keep our uh, fasting timing in in our mind as well. And so I totally understand Miss Asfa even have to go and maybe cook something. So we'll just take your questions quickly. So there were one hand raised, but that's gone now. Maybe we have answered something. uh, so we'll go back and see something in the chat box. uh, all right, so Kiran Fahim have asked, hi students, often ask me in which session I have uploaded in. Okay, I think that's Mubashra. Is there any option to write online on Turnitin, as we have essay-based features on quiz? Um, okay, have we answered this question, or would you like to answer?
No, I think I haven't answered this.
Okay, so let me repeat this question once again. Is there any option to write online on Turnitin, as we have essay-based feature on quiz, or Turnitin is just for assignments, or we can use for quizzes?
Okay, so unfortunately, Turnitin does not allow you to write on the web service, the website service. You have to first write the assignment in Word or in PDF and then upload it on Turnitin. It gives you the similarity report. It does not, as far as I know, it does not allow you to automatically write and then tell you side by side ke what's the plagiarism on it. It doesn't work like that. So that is the feature.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so Sadia Rage is asking, sometimes we add quotes from the text, so it causes similar in our similarity report. So there should be a proper setting to exclude quotes from our similarity report quotations.
Yes, there is an option, and I think no, that's for I think the work cited by the end. But if you have cited something and it shows up in the similarity report, the teacher does not, mark your like cut your marks according to that. Why? Because you have cited that source by the end of your assignment. So that's really important that you cite your sources. And that's how you should do it. Not कि सिर्फ quotes में डाल के तो लिख दिया. you need to give the source by the end of your assignment as well, right?
Yes, definitely. If you mention the source and you mention the actual give the credits, then this should not be any problem. And I think one question was asked repeatedly that sometimes LMS does not work. So what happens is one thing that is very typical, that while we're working at home or working on data, so we have sometimes internet connectivity issues. So that can be the reason first. Secondly, mostly you face such issues while uploading any bigger files as assignments or in quizzes. So for that, I always recommend that you first upload it in the Google Drive, and then you will upload it, so you won't be having any issues. Otherwise, typically if there is a issue on the server and if there's heavy traffic, so that can happen with anybody. Okay, now we'll take quickly last questions, and I think Mohammed Saleh Habib, I'm giving you the mic. You can unmute and you can ask the question.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, so my question is that how can we use Turnitin to check for similarity into similar kind of assignments uploaded by two different students? Because sometimes, I see this, I check one assignment and I check another assignment, I see that, there is some kind of similarity, but it doesn't show up on Turnitin. So is there any option on Turnitin that we can use to, check for such similarities?
Actually, it does show the similarity. It does. If you uploaded the assignments of a whole class and there are 2 or 3 people whose assignments is similar, it will show you, okay, it will mark all of the words in red which are similar. So that option is there in Turnitin. I believe maybe the students were really, what do you call it? They were clever, so you can't really
Clever.
trace the words. Yeah, but otherwise the option is there. It does show you if 2 assignments are copied and are similar to each other.
Do we need to turn the option on for adding the paper to a certain repository for this, or is it if we select no repository, it will similarly show us the same kind of similarity in that
If
case?
you choose no repository, it will still show you the similarity with everything that you just have to choose. For example, English literature ka paper hai, so you have to choose literature from the options, and if it's an undergraduate paper, so you have to choose undergraduate. Then it will show you the similarity with anything and everything in that area, in that specific area, even if you choose no repository. No repository just means that that paper is not being stored in any database, but the similarity it has with any other database, it will show you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Just one more question. It's from Sayyid Murtaza. Uh,
Yes.
right. Sir, the problem is that I gave an assignment to my students on LMS through Turnitin, but some of the students face this issue that when they were trying to upload their assignment, they couldn't do it, and when they switched their laptop or device, they could do that from another device. So, is there any problem with the LMS in such regards? कि वो नहीं हो पाती, they have to switch their devices in order to upload an assignment.
So far, as per uh, my information, there is nothing like that in our server or the settings that we have done on the LMS or on the Turnitin. So what happens is, because we're not using a central server or one internet while doing all these activities. So since we were most of us working from home or studying from home, so everybody have their own different servers and internet. So I don't think there's specifically anything like that. Sometimes servers can make issues, even bigger companies like Facebook or Twitter. They also have some server issues. So whenever anything happens like that, you just simply, switch off your internet modem device and refresh and then do it again. So that should be fine. But if you continuously face such issues, ask your students again to write us on the email address that I've, shared, IT Help Desk. I'll type it once again. So we'll look into that matter and we can fix it. Okay.
Thank you.
Uh, all right, you're welcome. I guess honestly, I mean, I'm really feeling that this is the last session of this week, but this is very strong in a way that I am seeing most active participants in this session. Surprisingly, at this time of the day, and I'm really happy to see that. So I would highly recommend. I'll be sharing the next schedule quite soon after Eid, inshallah. So do attend our next sessions as well. There'll be some more things for you to learn. You will enjoy and learn something more, and more exciting things will be there. Miss Asfa, do you think we can conclude today's session?
Yes, I can take one or two more questions, but if you want to conclude, I'm good with it.
Sure. So let me just go in the chat box. Uh, okay, Maheen, thanks. All right, so they're just thanking you and appreciating. Okay, now I have a request. Please add the option that LMS will send notification of new submitted data on LMS by professors via Gmail to students. So students are requesting that if anything happens, they must be getting a notification um, in their emails. So I think if we'll activate such feature, there'll be hundreds of notifications, and then again there will be no use. So usually, what happens is that whenever you have a class and whenever you have any assignment or lecture material, your teacher or your faculty always informs you. And in any special cases, there is one notification option in the LMS itself. So the way you check your WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram daily, make a habit that since now we are in a mode of online learning for some reason due to COVID, of course. So always check your LMS homepage, always check your student portal because the administration of UMT always communicating you through the student portal regarding your fees, your attendance, your lectures, all these schedules, everything. So make a habit to check your emails and check all these things. Okay, we can quickly take more questions. If anybody have, kindly raise your hand or type in the chat box. Okay. Miss Naomi wanted to say something. Miss Naomi, you may go ahead. I think you can now unmute your mic.
Assalamu alaikum, Murtaza and everybody else. All right, at that point of time, I just wanted to add one thing to Zainab's query, but because already it has been added in so much detail, I just wanted to add, Zainab, that whenever we are submitting your assignments or quizzes or anything to be checked on Turnitin, we ensure that it is not submitted to any repository, because in case it is submitted to any repository, only in that case, if a similar work is submitted again, it would be counted as a plagiarism. So it is entirely dependent upon the instructor as well, that what settings are being selected, just to ensure that even if you want to work on a like presentation or assignment extendedly later on, so it would not cause you any problem either, that considering it as plagiarized. So I just wanted to add this for your information. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome and walaikum salam. Okay, sir, please go ahead. You can unmute yourself.
Just one more question. Sometimes what happens is that when we are checking for plagiarism, the content is plagiarized from a student paper of some other university, and when we click on it, we want to access the full source, but it doesn't allow us to look for the paper. It says that we need to ask for permission. So what's the solution for that?
The solution, Solia, I think, is to just let it go. I think because that's really hard. I know I have faced the same issue. So I think
But
they don't allow
sometimes
it because
30-40% it shows up on the internet,
yes,
and we have to check
yes,
it. So do we consider
yeah,
that as plagiarism, or should
yes.
we?
We consider it as plagiarism because it has been copied from that student's paper, and it's really interesting how sometimes students come across very accurate papers to copy things from. But students are really clever. So yes, Naomi
And
wants to add something. Yes.
yeah, sorry for I'll keep on adding my bits. Sir Soleh, basically, as the library is the main owner of the Turnitin platform, and Stairs team is only responsible to embed it with LMS. They are mainly the owners of LMS platform. So I presume that if you have any query, you can just send an email to the library, because recently as well, Mr. Sohail, he was conducting an updated training on Turnitin platform. So I think this query can be answered by anybody from the library. You can send them an email and they will definitely let us know that what should be done in this specific scenario. Thank you.
That is exactly true. But working in this department, we have developed a habit, always accepting all types of queries. I mean, I can share one interesting story with you. One day I received a call on my cell phone, and there was a faculty member. He was saying that my AC is not working, so can you come and fix it? so, so yes, in the same way, we only take care of technical part and trainings on LMS. But still, if anything that we can add up, we always try our best. For that, please always get in touch with us. The more feedback we receive from the faculty, the more we are able to perform our jobs effectively. All right, now do we have any other questions? And I'm really enjoying such an active participation, honestly. So now we are getting some more praise for you, Miss Asfa. And in the start of the session, you have mentioned many things regarding my department and myself. So thank you so much for your kind words as well.
They are
And
true. They're true.
although though that looks like a paid promotion because I'm hosting the session and you're a
No,
co-host.
it's not a
um,
paid promotion.
Sure, but thank you so much for your kind words. We'll summarize the session. I'll conclude by thanking all of you and for taking your time out and attending this session. We'll keep on doing such activities for you. And again, I'd like to request to all the faculty members that whenever you think that your students may need some assistance in terms of technical training on LMS, always reach to us. I'm going to write my direct email, that is sayyid.murtaza@umt.edu.pk. For anything like that, always write directly to me so I can edit something like that. So from my side, thank you so much, Miss Asfa. Now you can conclude the session.
Okay, thank you everybody for being here, and I'm glad that you were so inquisitive and you had so many questions. I was able to answer some, and some were answered by Mr. Murtaza, and I'm glad that we had such an engaging session. And as Mr. Murtaza said, that these are ongoing sessions, so please attend them to increase your knowledge regarding the whole online learning process, right? So thank you very much for your praise. I'm really glad that all of you guys were here today.
All right, so take cares and सबको advance में ईद मुबारक. Take care. Allah Hafiz.
Yes, Eid Mubarak, everybody.